Good morning. Let's take a look at yesterday. And there's a continual worrying pattern for Liverpool. That's conceding 2 goals against Premier League teams. Third consecutive match, they've scored 2 goals. 1-0 lead with Gravenberch became 0-2. I don't know how they cocked it up from there to make it 2-2. That was probably the angle in there. The 2-2 in the 88th minute with the red card in play. All dependent on the in-play stats. And who came up with the winner? Ngumoa. Wow. In the 100th minute. So plenty going on there yesterday. Conceding 2 goals yet again. Liverpool conceding an extra, even down to 10 men. Concerns in that attack. They can't keep outscoring their opponent like this. So that's 6 goals conceded already. In the Premier League 2 and Professional Development League, what I was waiting for was just a 1-0 at half-time because both of these qualified as plays, but 2-0 at half-time, which is what you'd expect of a 1.4 for over 2.5 goals. So no qualifiers there yesterday, but you can see the patterns. If we check the over 2.5 goals first, again, over 3.5 goals yesterday. So that could be the angle. If it's 1.4 for over 2.5 goals, does suggest at least a goal before half-time. And over 3.5 goals, you've seen yet again. In the Veikkausliiga, not much doing yesterday, but 2 threes tended to turn up quite a lot yesterday. 2 of the Veikkausliiga matches would have been with SJK on this one. And in Italian Serie A, an emphatic 5-0 win for Inter Milan under the new manager, Chivu. That is going to give us a little bit of confidence that this new manager has the team unlocked. Udinese, Verona, very little to interest us, but those draws are turning up yet again for Udinese. To be sick of the sight of them. Atletico Bilbao, routine, but it was a must win. Did we have to wait for the goal or did it come first half? No, we had to wait for the goal and it was a penalty only, suggesting a tough evening for Atletico Bilbao. This is a match they should really be winning with ease, not via a second half penalty. So disappointing for Atletico Bilbao, despite getting the win, a routine performance. Looking on to today, and you can see quite clearly, it's the EFL Cup. Now, this is going to be difficult to read because the vast majority of these sides, particularly the Premier League sides, will be fielding second string teams. And quite frankly, they're not up for it. The vast majority of these teams couldn't care less about this competition. So you're going to see multiple changes. And sides like Leeds, for example, get out of this competition. Stay up in the Premier League. Don't be a hero, man. So I'm not sure if I'll be up for that this evening. Very tough competition. Can we trust these teams to put their best foot forward? This is down the totem pole. It's even below the League Cup in dismissiveness from particularly Premier League teams. Professional Development League, yet again, something for me to practice the 2.5 goals on. Now, you're either going to do first half goals or second half goals with a 2.5 goal strategy. My first port of call is to look at the price of over 2.5 goals. Give us an idea, 1.33. So yet another emphatically in favour of over. So I'm just waiting for those matches to be 1-0 at half time. Or you could wait for 15, 20 minutes at 0-0, back over 2.5 goals then. And if you get a goal before half time, normally tend to have a green screen or a break even at the half time mark. So well worth pursuing today. And if I catch any of these, I'll pass them on to you. So the first port of call, as you've seen, is just a quick look at the price for overs. What are the market's expectations here? So we go down to 2.5, again 1.33. So Professional Development League, that's the odds we tend to see for over 2.5 goals. Can't really be backed pre-match. So you have to be a little bit creative. But they do suggest goals are plenty, don't they? Champions League qualifiers, and Celtic got themselves in a whole mess in that first leg with a 0-0 at 1.14 odds. They are now lukewarmish, 1.6 odds. Kairat Almaty have something to fight for. So this could be a difficult evening for Celtic, who should on paper be by far the better team. Pafos are confounding all sorts with their extremely solid defence. 1-2 win in the first leg against Red Star Belgrade. Did get a goal back and got us a break even. So difficult to unpack, but Red Star Belgrade have to score the first goal. It could be a 0-0 back pre-match. Sturm Graz and Bodo Glimt. This is an emphatic Bodo Glimt win from the first leg. I think something like 5-0. So they can afford a 3-0 defeat, still go through Bodo Glimt. That's why it's 2.5 the favourite. They don't need to win. They just need to manage the aggregate score. And that's how I tend to trade these matches, via the aggregates. So we've got an automatic draw now at the moment. That draw should be gettable at some stage. We've got a lead for the home side. So it's a 1-0 deficit, effectively, for Red Star. And Sturm Graz might even win the match today. But it's likely to be not on aggregate. DBF Pokal, Stuttgart away at Braunschweig. And Super Etten will get short shrift. We've got an odds-on favourite at 6 o'clock. So I'm not sure, I'm afraid, if I'll be doing the EFL Cup for you. You can see it's Cup Day throughout Europe, Austria. Work your way down at soccer24.com. You'll be able to see all of the leagues today. Czech Cup as well. Got more Prague sides. Aritma Prague, Admira Prague, Sparta Prague, Dukla Prague, Slavia Prague. EFL Trophy continues. This is under 21 version. Liquidity is also going to be a problem. Work our way down. It does look Cup, Challenge Cup as well in Scotland might offer something. Familiar names, but again, you've just seen the site of Rangers there. Surely they've got other things. Oh, Rangers B, yes. Rangers of Europe on their mind. So difficult evening. The Cup. Do I turn up for the Cup? That is the question this evening. I don't like EFL Cup, trusting that, or the Scottish Challenge Cup, particularly at the kick-off time of nearly 2 a.m. my time. Very difficult to get enthused about it. I'll be up for the earlier kick-offs though. Champions League as well. Easy enough to read because we've got the first leg scorelines to work off and the motivation needed there. Celtic were only kept to 3 shots on target in their home match. So you can see that's going to be defence v attack. Pafos are just very, very good defensively, aren't they? They've got a 1-goal lead to hold on to. So it's a difficult one this evening because I don't like playing cups. There's just no motivation. There'll be second string sides out, particularly Premier League, as I say, less than enthused. And logically, for me, you'd want to be getting hell out of this cup as early as possible. The Premier League sides do manage to make it look, in the League Cup at least, as if they're interested and then capitulate to a 1-goal defeat, that kind of thing. They are not keen, some managers, on having an EFL Cup run. So that makes life a little difficult for me this evening. I'll be up for the earlier kickoffs for you, certainly. And I'll have to play it by ear about the Cup. It's not something that greatly appeals from a trading perspective tonight. Europe continues this week, as does the Cup, as you can see, throughout Europe. EFL Cup continuing with some more familiar names: Man United, Everton. Cunha for Man United has really caught the eye, hasn't he? Just not quite got the goals, or just not got the sighter in yet, but he looks a very effective player. Champions League continues tomorrow as well. Second legs. And we've got a smattering of La Liga matches. Celta Vigo. Thursday sees Europa League and Europa Conference League second legs. So I will be interested in that, that's for sure. We've got key angles coming into these second legs. So that's something for me to work off. Friday, we see a whole smattering of elite leagues and secondary leagues in what looks a very interesting Friday coupon. Leicester against Birmingham. Leicester struggling in the Championship, aren't they? Not the dominant force you'd expect. Premier League 2. Again, a good advert for over 2.5 goal trades for you. Lens, French League 2. Bundesliga, Hamburg, newly promoted Hamburger against St. Pauli. Got a 0-0 against Mönchengladbach. The only 0-0 in the opening day. So plenty to look forward to this week. Might not be doing much this evening, but the volume is there. It's just a question mark from the managerial perspective whether they are up for the cup or not. Certainly, odds-on favourites will get a look in initially, particularly those playing at home. Is the market correct today? In-play stats will be vitally important for the EFL Cup and the Scottish Challenge Cup. I will certainly see you. I will be following the Professional Development League, trying to find a 2.5 goal strategy for that for you today, and we'll pass it on. 5:45, I will be around for Celtic, hopefully not cocking this one up against Kairat Almaty. We might see a reaction from Celtic today, 2 or 3 goals, but we will see. First leg did not go the way they expected. So have a great day today. It's a bitty coupon, but 5:45 start for me for Celtic against Kairat Almaty, and then I'll see whether the early kickoffs in the Cup are worth staying up for. So a difficult day today to trust EFL and Scottish Challenge Cup. I will be around for the early Champions League match. Have a great day.